As we've been covering for weeks here, thousands of people in Newark, New Jersey remain without safe drinking water as workers scramble to replace lead service lines. More on those in just a moment. The city, along with Essex County, announced a $120 million bond that is expected to greatly speed up this process. The estimates are that it'll take 2 or 3 years to replace the 18,000 service lines. That means the pipes from the street into your house. In the meantime, many thousands of people still left to depend on bottled water. We are so happy to have with us tonight the two-term mayor of the largest city and the most densely populated state in our union, Ras Baraka. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
If I've had a frustration as a native New Jerseyan in covering this, it's been that I wanted somebody to step up and own it. Not blame, not responsibility for it, because that's a lot of people. Someone to own this crisis and be the advocate for the old lady tonight in a high-rise who's low income, who you know could use bottled water tomorrow and doesn't want to bother anybody, and so she's going to go without.
Well, first of all, people in high-rises don't have lead service lines. That's number one. Number two, I'm from Newark, and we have taken this thing on head on. I live there. My mother lives there. My brothers live there. My cousins, my aunts, my nephew, my wife who's pregnant. We all have lead service lines. We all use filters. I use a pitcher filter in my house that I got from the water department when they were passing them out, going door to door, and as people went to the places to pick up these filters. So we gave out 39,000 filters at the very beginning. We changed over 800 lead service lines. We bonded $75 million ourselves and got the state to subsidize that bond, so residents only had to pay 10%. But with this new money that we just raised, no other city in America has raised $120 million to replace every single lead service line, not just in Newark, but also in Belleville and Hillside. We're going to change their lead service lines as well. And we're going to do it in about 24 months, 24 to 30 months, given weather and other eventualities.
I know you've grown to hate comparisons to Flint, Michigan, but here's one area where there's commonality. The water source in Flint was clean.
Yes.
The water source in Newark. Newark used to brag about the cleanest water anywhere on the planet.
That's right.
It's the chemical formulation that water companies have used forever that changed. That takes the lead lining from inside the pipe, sends it into homes. You'll concede that and Flint are alike.
Oh, absolutely. The only difference is Flint changed their water source on purpose, and they did not put a corrosion control in the water because it was too costly. Our corrosion control stopped working, and we immediately, upon DEP recommendation and approval, put a new corrosion control in the water, the orthophosphate, zinc orthophosphate. While we tested the zinc orthophosphate to see if it was actually having an impact is when we actually tested 3 filters. That's when we found out that 2 filters out of 39,000 did not work. So we, out of an abundance of caution, decided to give out water until we figured this out. And the great news is in about a couple of days, we'll be able to tell people whether the filters are working or not. And I'm very optimistic about that.
A big difference with Flint, and I'll be candid, is you look at the landscape. Flint gave the left a big Republican target.
Sure.
In Newark, it's a field of blue. All you can see is blue, from the mayor to the governor to Senator Menendez. Oh, look, we got a U.S. senator who lives in Newark, who's a former mayor of Newark.
Right.
So a lot of folks wonder if this isn't a greater crisis than the incumbent Democrats aren't making it out to be.
Well, there is lead service lines all over the state of New Jersey, about 300,000 lead service.
In old cities all over our country.
And millions of lead service lines across. And there are people that are getting exceedances all over the state and all over the country as well. I think what we did in Newark, it was a heavy lift. There's a problem there. We put our foot to the pedal, and that story has not been told. The fact that we changed the law to make it possible that we could use public money to change people's private lines, because they own a lead service line, not the city. That we raised $75 million, now an additional $120 million to do the same thing.
The bond means homeowners are not out that money anymore.
Right. They don't have to pay anything at all. It's free to get their lead service line changed. And we just passed a law to make it mandatory to get your lead service line changed. Well, we're in the process of passing a law, I should say, to get it changed. So we do not have to get your signature on a piece of paper in order to go onto your property. We can actually go to your property and change your lead service line without your permission, if necessary. The council is entertaining that law right now as we speak. We took a pipe out of the ground and sent it to the EPA. The EPA are the one that told us that the corrosion control is not working. There's nobody who came into Newark testing our water. We tested our own water. We told people that we had lead exceedances. We told people that the filters didn't work. We told people all of these things that are happening is because we told everybody it's happening, and we sent mailings to everybody at the same time. So the characterization that the city didn't care about what was going on is just not factual. I mean, how could I not care? My wife's in my house. She's using water with a lead service line, right? My mother, I had to take a filter to her home when they were passing out filters to help her put it on her faucet, right? My cousin, my aunts, everyone live in the city is affected by this. So I take it very deeply personal that this is a crisis, a problem for all of us, and we are trying to deal with it as much as we can. The thing that bothers me is this characterization that the entire city is like succumbed to this lead problem, and that's just really not true, right? There are 18,000 homes that had lead service lines. There are 14,000 of those homes are in the Pequannock area that are in fact affected by this. There are people with lead service lines in other part of the city where the corrosion control is actually working.
They never changed the mix, right?
Right, that's actually working. And so they don't have the problem that we have. But we're going to change their lead service lines too, because I believe the ultimate fix to change the lead service lines, right? I didn't put the lead service lines in the home, but I'm going to take them out.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.